Hello and welcome back to Amnesia Machine for Pigs. So we got far into the game. We're now going to continue and see where we are. We've got past the mansion through like a basement area. I think we moved on to a different area, so let's see where we are. Once we got past the loading screens, of course. Time. Yeah.
I have such visions to share with thee. If my jaw be unshackled and you harvest the crust from my eyes, make it clean madness, that my thoughts and words can unfouled be.
Okay. No pig mask. They certainly get around. The pig mask. Pig mask monster's been around. Oh, what lovely music. May 1st, 1899. But then, what if they could stand upright and walk as man? What if the brute were harnessed? Thus, would they sing? Would they find their own god? I've seen these things, and I'll tell you now. No, no, they will not. But they will happily accept fealty to a god thrust upon them, and worship it thus given. In this I realize they are no different to the masses. They are much the same as us. Once this irrevocable threshold is passed, I understand that we too are shackled and must be set free. To free the man, we cut the man. In order to cross the great evolutionary line, it must be first painted on the ground. Okay. Whew. My dentist been here? More notes. August 22nd, 1899. In America they talk of building their cities to the skies. To me this seems folly, but perhaps it is simply a case of a nation founded without history of its own. We walk upon our histories. They're compacted into the very loam beneath our feet. The engineers we employed talked of this. They talked of how, when building the underground trains, they would often come across older tunnels crisscrossing the capital. What palaces lie beneath us? We are digging, excavating, and reappropriating what we find. At the center of the planet, my architect tells me there is a great iron ball. It is the egg of the world. He's got a bit of a thing for eggs, hasn't he? I mean, I like eggs. In most forms. Left fondle. October 11th, 1899. We integrate the very latest knowledge of chemistry using low levels of laudanum derivative in feed to subdue the product, even before the initiation of the process. This means that when we drag them from their holding pens onto the line, they're less likely to panic and damage machine and components, other products, or themselves. This section of the belt is sheathed in rubber and kept well lit to maintain good spirits. And we've actually found that intelligent placement of gramophones and simple acoustic amplification tubes around the line means we can use music to further soothe the product. We find that Debussy particularly effective in this regard. Debussy, whatever. I'm not up on classical literature or classical music. Bleh. Ew. Doors open. Bees. September 28th, 1899. Imagine, they say, a machine one day that might think like a man, as if this is to be desired. One might almost boast of creating a man who breathes like a pig, man and woman upon all fours, rutting, carelessly ejaculating their filthy little missives into the streets, alleys and gutters, running freely with the careless spill of their own conjoinings, the air thick with the whimperings of lost bodies streaked with their own emissions. We have created a world where man is so utterly debased he would spray his seed over passers-by, and yet this is the condition Babish aspired to. No, this is not a machine we seek. Such an entity would be nothing less than a deity, and we will fall upon our knees and worship it. We shall not crave gods to bicker and fornicate. They will exist to clean the world and set us free. I reject Babbage as I reject those men of government. Let the pigs copulate in the gutters while they can. We shall scoop them up and ease their ascension soon enough. What a pleasant sounding fellow. Journal note. Oh. Another confounded fuse box. The fellow is thorough in his sabotage, if somewhat repetitive. The stench from these barrels is quite discomforting. I certainly hope that whatever chemistry this room is designed to store is not a defining feature of the flood that threatens my children. I've kind of missed it, sorry about that. It seems this chemical process is merely one part of a much larger complex. No easy route for me then. I will follow my fever. The cause of my children, wherever they may lead me, as I move further into this strange empire. All this suggests of a large workforce, yet no actual signs of life. It is every bit as if someone has attempted to carefully create the illusion of a working factory complex. Yet this facade, when examined closer, is clearly just a falsification. But I must put aside my anxieties, quell the unease that pits my stomach, and continue on my path. This church is connected to the plant. How odd. However, it does suggest another route into the main part of the facility, given the locked doors around the fueling station. The truck blocks my way, however, almost as if the saboteur knew I might consider this alternative entrance. Delivery schedule. How in the blazes are we supposed to meet these damn schedules if even the basic equipment we provided will simply not perform its designated function? These cursed newfangled trucks will only run a fraction of the distance my old nag managed before running out of stinking gasoline. The gaffer says it's fine and there's plenty of pumps to refill them outside the factory walls, but you can end up dragging a blessed tank from the truck to the nearest one to refill it, and the one in the storeroom is empty again. I can't be turning that crank handle all day only to find the tank is empty. Oh, sod it, says I. Enough for a night, off and to my bed I go. It's not like anyone needs access to the bleeding graveyard anyway. Harry, if you get this, I'll meet you in the Damson Temple for a jar.
Come on, Papa. Let's climb this one. I can see more pictures at the top.
Piggy! Little piggy! Go that way. This canister looks like it may fit the fuel pump I saw earlier. It certainly carries the same fetid, unholy reek. I will not think of what I saw past me in its cage. I will not gaze into that dark machine room. A more immediate task presents itself, and the opportunity to perhaps gain access to St. Dunstan's. Pumping station. It appears to be some kind of fueling station. I've seen automobiles demonstrated at Mr. Yarham and Mr. Simmons' works, but the smell here is all wrong. It's not petroleum, of that I am sure. Everything suggests to me that the machine must be significant in some way. Maybe. Dear sweet Lord, of all that is good and holy, I must make my escape. Grasp the container of its putrid contents and flee this place before that creature, that nearly man, returns. I will head for the church. Surely such an abomination could not follow me onto hallowed ground. Don't know about that. I think it's... Anyway. Cooey! Piggy! My pig mask. Ooh, graveyard. What monsters that work black in the graveyard.
This way, Papa. Come and see. Will it hatch? Can we take it home?
Yes, my darlings. Of course we can take it home.
Someone buried a pig. Poor piggy. I will grieve you, piggy. A moment of silence for our fallen piggy friend here. I don't like a pig. Journal. Inside St. Dunstan's, we sat here, I remember, we sat here in our black and we mourned and we prayed and we bowed our heads. How I hated God then, how I spurned him. If this is how I laud the pig who robs me of my wife, then I refute his embrace. I will carve a new God for us all. Such madness, such a fool I was. If such blasphemous ravings had remained within me, I would be doomed. But even here, I felt the machine throb beneath the flags, and I know my path awaits me. So I just had to pause to double check the recording was still happening. Because for some reason, for Amnesia Machine for Pigs, my fraps indicator does not show up. So I'm left wondering, am I actually recording? November 23rd, 1899. Twin candles bent to the will of the central saint, casting their light to the corners of the chapel. Father Jeremiah and I thought could be trusted with the secret, but he is like all the others. So the old priest is gone to holding pens with his flock, and he says he'll enter into our world with them. A shepherd indeed. This is getting more and more sinister. Not that it wasn't sinister to begin with. Beforehand, so let's go in here. Ah, there's a candle. Oh, no. Father Jeremiah's journal, October the 1st, 1899. They flock to us now, where once I had to walk amongst them to bring salvation to their lives. Now, drawn by the warmth of winter, by the food that man distributes, the church is full and my charges are saved. He walks amongst them, and they always worship him. He will not allow them to work in the factories, claiming that his workforce are specially trained for the new machinery he uses, and for that it would be irresponsible, nay unethical, to risk such precious lives as the ones here. As he sees here, a changed man since Mexico, it is to be praised, and that in the face of such appalling tragedy from the confines of his sickbed, as he is often chained to, he conducts one of the greatest and most benevolent charities in the whole of London. Not content with the rise to become the dominant food produce business in the land, he distributes his goodwill, his fares, to the poor, and they congregate in his kingdom in gratitude. General. J. The ancient fires, flames are stoked. I hear steam in the walls, vibrations upon the very air. My heart falters at the prospect of throwing the lever and exploding the workings of this dark contraption. But my children beckon me on, and I cannot fail them. Hellish portal. It appears I have no choice, thus I must descend, and may God have mercy upon my soul. If this is my bedlam, and I am to be cast as Matthews, I will wear the mantle for the sake of my boys, and face what horrors lie beneath the altar. Oh, we'll see. There might not be any horrors down here at all.
Listen, Papa. Hold the egg to your ear. You can hear the sea.
Really? These final thoughts. What exhumation is this? What rotten fruit? What would be stitching of parts? I doubt I'll ever be found, yet I leave you this. Scrawled in the malodorous half-light whilst my tormentor shuffles below. My fellow prisoners keen and squeal in the gloam. And where I await for the knocking upon my cage that signifies it is finally my turn to make the dark journey to the interior. Duh. Right, that's the way out there. Let's be further on. Okay, I'm doing laps here, guy. It's quite tense though. Ah, stairs, good. Shit. Bit tense.
water in his shoes. Always the water, and the sparks of the embers of the wheels. It's too bony! It's too damn bony!
My soul shudders at what I've seen. Last I have searched the main part, reached the main part of the factory. Now onwards, downwards, to find those flood waters and drain them away. Like Moses, I will cleave the waters and lift my little darlings clear of the vile cradle. Another one? No, it's not. Anything else? Pardon me. Okay, no more notes, no more monsters running. Strangers not allowed on this works. Inquiries must be made at the lodge. Inquiries required to be made at the lodge. Whatever.
These men, Professor, these so-called men of vision, they would shackle the masses to a wheel and turn it till their backs break. All for that opiate, the lure of profit. These fools who lackey them, these priests, these officials, this government, they make pigs of us all.
But what solution, my dear man? How to break a cycle? You cannot simply remove the promise of a better world for these unfortunates. In the workhouses, in the orphanages, the belief in heaven is surely the only succor one can find.
We do not need to wait. We can bring forth paradise now. We can speed the passion. With only a small sacrifice, we can hold the apocalypse. With just a small sacrifice, we can free our shackles and deliver them to paradise now. Beware the wretches who populate this compound. The way you seek is under the pistons. When you meet the saboteur, you will understand everything.
More cryptic bullshit. Hope Halloween doesn't want royalties for using this term. October 17th, 1899. Each compartment is ergonomically designed, with a feed trough at one end, so the product naturally settles in position ready for the stunning arms to connect to the skull. We use the natural static charge built up by the friction of the carts against the belt to build the electrical charge, which is contained within glass vacuum canisters at the sides of the stunning arm mechanisms and delivered along the stun arms by copper cabling. We have observed that the artificial lighting contained within these canisters seems to calm the product further. Post-stunning, the line tilts sharply to the vertical, and the physics of which tips the stun product upwards to fall directly onto the hook on the bleeding line. This hook passes normally through the haunch or thigh of the product, and from this point we dispense the belt and instead instigate a channeled floor, which creates a funnel allowing the blood and byproduct excretions to collect and run to the fluid collection tanks. Humane societies have serious issues with this place. Funny thing, I need to light fires. Not that I played this game before, of course. No. October 18th, 1899. A series of collecting vents have been installed along the ceiling at this stage of the line, in the process of stunning and bleeding. The product often expels stinking vapours from its digestive system, which can be collected, condensed and used in the methane boiler to drive the engine as a whole. In this way, the more product is processed, the more power becomes available to the machine. The productivity is actually increased, a simple stroke of genius, but one that encapsulates the benefit of a self-regulatory automation. Sorry. So that one's going. So 5 and 6 are out there, and I've got one to do here. done. Don't like the noise coming from out there. Can't see any of it though. Lily's arms are made of steel. Lily's arms are silent. The pistons are silent. The plant is at rest. I must poke the hornet's nest to open my way. I fear the scale of these engines suggests a far greater works than is visible from the surface. So my friend must be correct, and the larger part of this plant is underground. We are close to the Thames. No wonder flooding is such a risk. Need more coal. I'm blind, I'm not seeing any. I bet there's only over here. I can pick up at least. Oh. Duh. Why is it stoked? Assuming that the same architect responsible here as the chemical plant, I surmise the centralized control system regulates operating this. It should be a simple matter of finding it, and hoping the saboteur relented after simply extinguishing the fires. Big monster. The pig monster's hunting me. I've got an idea where I'm going. I think it's doing a circuit. Got like a particular patrol route. There's a note I want to get on the other side of that. Outside the room. Yeah, she saw me there for a second. I need to go down there. But I want to try and get that note. Ah, solved the note. Oh, yeah. What should I get back going? Let's get back going. Come on, be brave. There we are. The product moves now into the bleeding. A system of spring-loaded blades arranged here. Tension is built by a series of springs that run along the bleeding line, using the momentum of the product itself to build up the energy of the action ahead. The blades are released at a point of optimum tension and as the product passes them. The combination of speed and release, sudden stop against the rubber buffers at the side of the line, sets the blade spinning rapidly, enough to cut the throat of the product. It is a clean, sympathetic and efficient process. The product then continues along the line and the natural bleeding process is allowed time to occur. And the blood collecting in the angle basin of the footer line, the secondary spring blades are positioned at two pepper points along the line should the mid-level rubber buffers continue to be manipulated. In the form of a semi-bled product, crushing or twitching, these movements automatically form the basis of the spring energy required to send the next bleeding blade into activity. Right. Execute maneuver, GTFO. Continues. What did that dark voice instruct me to do? Under the pistons, into the tunnels, and onto the bilge pumps. And if the doors should be locked, I shall have to find another means of descent. I cannot trust him, but my path is set. I shall ignore those noises, that suffering, those shuffling steps below me. I will brave whatever lurks beneath me, and I will save them. April 30th, 1899. The crate arrived this morning and I had delivered directly to the workshop. The body is remarkably preserved, although there is a subtle yet nauseating stench of damp and rot. It is humanoid in shape, but it has suffered severe skeletal deformity, remnants of leather straps encase the torso, which is deformed, with evidence of substantial muscle mass and displacement. It is difficult to ascertain whether this unfortunate is a recipient of some barbarous surgery, or was born deformed in an attempt to force its guarded body into some semblance of humanity was made. What he is I cannot tell, but I smell orb upon him. I suspect my great-uncle's presence in his curious condition. So it can be done. We can reshape the body into a tool and accelerate the process of Mr. Darwin's evolution. But here my great-uncle and I part company. He chose men as the subjects of his experiments. But men are difficult to control and rotten with sentimentality. No, we require a new creature for our chattels. Loyal, clever, strong, and easily sated. Pigs! Piggies! Bruised and battered but alive, I survived the saboteur's best efforts. He and I are now locked in an epic struggle, but I'm driven to find my family, and I will prevail. Ignore the madness about me. Do not consider what cruel and unspeakable acts have been committed here. Find a way to build, drain the flood, free your children. What could our mysterious voice say on the phone? Find out next time on the next exciting episode of Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.